Welcome back to the Value Hunt podcast, where we uncover hidden nuggets in the most joyful and passionate way.
Today we are here again with Antonio, and it's such a pleasure to be here with him. We already had an interview previously, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I think we managed to deliver really good insights on the journey of a young investor and someone that's starting out in life and doing great things. So thank you so much for coming back again on this follow-up. Okay, maybe for the ones that haven't watched our previous interview, you could make a brief presentation of who is Antonio, what do you like, and what are you working on?
Okay, I have a bachelor degree in economics. So I graduated 1 year ago, and then I started to work in a company, in a consultancy firm called CGI, but it was not, it had not very much to do with my area of expertise. So 4 or 5 months ago, I decided to change, and now I'm working at a company called Westmon as a financial analyst. Westmon is a subsidiary company of a Swiss company called DAPM.
And what's the main industry of BAPM?
We are a consultancy firm. We are an investment consultancy firm, and we don't have we don't work in one specific financial instrument or in a specific field per se. We also do not manage any investments. So what we do is so there are a lot of people. There are some people who have investments in a lot of parts of the world, in a lot of banks,
right?
In a lot of custodians, in a lot of funds, and so what happens is that those guys have some difficulties trying to know how much they are worth, because they have their money so in so many places that they don't know what they are really worth, and so they need someone to gather all that information. There are some people with that needs. They need someone to gather all that information and to put it just in one place, and that's basically what we do. And we also double check the work banks and funds do to see to analyze if everything is okay and as it should be. One of the things that our clients like the most is the fact that we have a module for fees and transactions and those kinds of things, and so we can analyze how much are the banks and the custodians charging you for every purchase you make on every instrument you make. And so when I said that we don't have like a specific industry or we don't specialize like in one instrument, because there are some companies in the areas in finances where they specialize like in M&A or for example in trading options or trading equities or whatever. We deal with every kind of products. We deal with the equities, options, structured products, futures. We do everything.
That's nice.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that I most enjoy about this work, is that I am not specializing in one field. I am like learning about all of it at the same time. The problem is that my learning curve will not be as exponential exactly as if I was just specializing in one specific instrument. But I think, but at the same time, I think it opens more doors per se, because I know a little bit of something, and I think that's great. Because like you said, I am starting this new journey, and when we are starting, we don't know very well what we want to do, or even if we know, we may change our ideas when we start working, because some things may not appear to be what they seem. And having this opportunity to learn about a lot of different areas of finances and a lot of instruments, it was a very good thing for me, and I am very grateful for this opportunity. And I wasn't expecting. Actually, it was on LinkedIn that I found this job, and I love it. And my colleagues are great. They know a lot, and yeah, it's very cool. And and also what we do, it really adds value, because we perform analysis about how 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 people are investing. They can see if the strategies they are using are working or not. We can also see as an analyst what the big investors are doing, even though we cannot use that information. But well, it's funny to see, and to see how they work, and how they think, and it's very cool.
That's interesting. So to wrap all this nice information that you gave us, if I was a client, for example, prospect client of yours, how would you sell and tell me the value that your firm or your work adds to me as a client? So like in a short phrase or a short couple of phrases.
Well, I think the main idea is, well, imagine that you have a lot of millions of dollars, euros, whatever, and I think the main selling point is, okay, do you want to have control of all of it, and do you want to invest all of it, and have control of everything, and of all charges that you have and that banks are charging you? Well, then this is the service for you, because when you have a lot of money, it's very difficult to control and to manage all the investments you have, because I mean, we have clients who have like 10 portfolios, and those are small clients. I have a colleague which manages like 60 portfolios, and in each portfolio they have funds, private equity funds, equities, bonds, everything. Sometimes there's a coupon missing on a bond. If you have so many positions, one coupon can get lost. And if you have these kind of services, that coupon will not get lost, and also you can manage all the transactions you do, or your analysts do. Because I think what my boss told me in the time at the time was that these people who don't have this kind of services, they have to do it by themselves, or they have to pay someone to do that for them, and or a lot of people to do that for them. And the main thing is that even if you pay a person to do that kind of service for you, you are not going to waste money trying to build an app where you can put all of your investments, because it's very expensive and hard to maintain.
Right.
You need
so you provide a software?
Yes, because we provide the software, and we also provide the data into
that's
the application. Actually, we have three competitors, but they are not really direct competitors, because what they do, it's not exactly what we do. Because, for example, Cisco, Cisco is very famous. They have the app, but they don't have the financial analysts to give the input to the app. And so it's not as easy to interact as it is with ours. And in our app, if you it's personalized, you know. If you as a client want some kind of technicality, or if you want a
some
specific
feature.
service, they will develop that service and they will deliver it to you.
No, that makes sense. And I joined an investing community recently. I don't know if you are familiar with Tilman Versk. He's a German investor, and he runs like this community. And I joined. And one topic of conversation was, how do I track my performance? Because like you can track your performance in your broker account, you know, but it's kind of hard if you start to have like a couple of brokers, and then you it's hard to track your fees. It's hard to yeah, because basically your fees and shadow costs can eat up a lot of your gains on paper, and I imagine that compounds as you get richer and you have a bigger portfolio, you have more positions. So it makes sense that someone with that kind of wealth has to pay for that service. So, just a quick question: your clients are mainly individuals or funds or like charities? How does that work?
We actually don't know, because all of our clients, for a confidentiality reason, have their names covered, and so in the app they have different names. But I think some of them might be individuals, some of them might be funds. I don't know. Probably they are more individuals, because funds already have that kind of control in-house, I guess.
Okay. Yeah,
But,
that makes
an
sense.
individual,
Maybe family offices, like someone that invests for himself as a full-time job, but it's
yes,
only themselves.
I think that's
That's
a possibility.
that's cool. And you said you had like kind of access to see what kind of positions they have. Uh, what's the, I don't know if you can disclose this, but what's the most popular thing they are investing in? Like, is it stocks? Is it options?
I think nowadays the most popular thing, I mean, this is what I think, because they have so many things that I don't know. They buy funds, they buy equities, they buy private equity, they buy bonds, they buy everything. They buy all of it. They buy structured products. But I think that the most interesting thing nowadays, maybe it's private equity, because private equity is like, I mean, it's interesting might be interesting for who is investing, but is definitely interesting for who is managing it. Because, and I'm going to tell you a story. So I was doing a double check on my colleague client, because we do those kinds of tasks in order to ensure that everything is okay and that our colleagues also did their work well. And there was one metric, well, actually two, which was internal rate of return in a private equity fund. The internal rate of return grows in this private equity was like 80% positive.
Okay.
The internal rate of return net was like minus 40%. And I was like, okay, this is weird. This might be a mistake. This must be a mistake. And then I told my colleague, which is more experienced than I am, and he was like, no, this is normal, because this private equity grew something. It grew from 100,000 to 300 or whatever, which in private equity is not a lot, because in private equity you are expected to earn a lot, you know, to like, so, I don't know, maybe you have a commitment of 2 millions, and then you are expected to receive 30 or 40, you know. It's like in private equity, because private equity what they do is they invest in companies which are not yet quoted on the stock market. So they invest like, it's like Shark Tank. You know,
Yeah.
they invest in companies that might have some potential, and then what they want is to make an IPO of that and earn a lot of money with that IPO. That's like, there are also some other modalities of private equity and some investing in different ways. But I mean, the picture that I got from private equity is that. And so when the fund grew from 100,000 to 300,000 or something like that, it's not a lot. What happened is that the fund charged 200,000 of commissions that year. So to that client, yeah, and that's how the internal rate of return grows. Well, when
Go on.
yeah, that's how the internal rate of return went negative. And I was very surprised. So that's why in the beginning I said that private equity might be good for the investors, but is definitely good for the manager of the fund.
Sorry guys, we had to make a quick pit stop here because it's so hot here in Portugal that my camera just passed out, and so I had to cool it off and start a new session. But that's okay. So we were talking about the new company of Antonio, where he's working at, and the services they provide. So. And you were just telling us about this funny thing that the private equity charge so many fees that basically it eats up all the returns they have. So
Yeah, it can.
that's interesting to know. And yeah, it's so hard to beat the market, and especially because of all these fees that uh, basically you don't see, but you pay for them. So that's also something to keep in mind, and maybe a lesson to the viewers and to us, because it's something that exists. And I don't know if you what's like the biggest hidden cost that your clients are charged with and they didn't know, and like maybe they give you some feedback, oh, I didn't know that this was eating my returns or something.
Well, I don't. Well, I would not call them hidden costs. At least, like what I have been in what I have worked till now. I have never had that situation where there was like some crazy hidden cost. I think they probably know about it, but well, even when there are high fees, we just
Yeah.
report them. The guys in Switzerland, they are the ones
Yeah.
who make the contact directly with the client, and they are the
Okay.
ones who tell them about those high fees and when there are some costs that are not appropriate. Well, there is one high fee that I am recalling, which is in security lending, where fees go up to 40%,
Okay.
which is a
That's a
lot.
lot. That's a lot. 40%, it's a lot. And you mean that like in shorting or something like that?
I don't really know. I think, yeah, maybe probably he's using those shares that he borrows as collateral for some kind of investment, and he's borrowing them from the bank, and so he has to pay some fees to the
Yeah.
bank, and when the statements come, those fees usually are very high.
Well,
And
that's interesting. And would you say that with this like new exposure to other financial instruments and to other approaches to investing, um, has anything changed in your personal investment philosophy? Do you avoid some things? Do you try to keep it simple, or you're just experimenting with everything as your clients do?
Well, yeah, I think I have changed a bit, not just because of my work, but also because of it. And what I think is that one thing that I actually thought of saying today was that when I started my journey of reading books about value investing and those kinds of things, we are reading books that are already old and outdated, and so that information might not be applicable today as it was back in the time. Because, truth to be said, back in the time, information was not accessible to everyone as it is by now. If you had a little of money and if you went to Wall Street and if you were in contact with all those people, and you would get not inside information, let's not call it inside information, but you would get privileged information. Privileged because not everyone had access to it. You would have to go to certain places to get it. And today the world doesn't work that way. Today everyone has access to the same information, so it's very difficult to get an opportunity where you have a very good company selling at below its intrinsic value. And when those opportunities appear, it's very probably because there's some catch with it, and funds and the investors are not investing in it because of it, because or it probably is, it might be a good investment, but maybe it's not as good as investing in some other thing, or maybe it's too risky, or in the end it's I would say it's not worth it. And thinking otherwise, maybe if we think otherwise, we are risking to be a bit thinking that we are smarter than everyone, and that's a dangerous thought.
I agree. I think investing is one of the most humbling professions, because like in other professions, maybe people may lie to you and say, "Oh, you're so good," or things like that. And in truth, you're not that good. But in investing, the market tells you if you're good or not.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's not that hard to understand whether you're fooling yourself or not. So yeah, and like I don't know if you also have some kind of insight on this, but do your clients usually lose money, win money, and if they win, do they beat the market or not?
Well, so there are some guys that are more conservative, and I would say they break even. They might do like 1% or 2% just to keep their wealth invested, and
Yeah,
that's it. But they don't do a lot of money. Those who risk more, there are some who win a lot of money, but there are also some who lose some money. To win money you need to risk, and in the end it's all about the risk. If you want to have more gains, you have to risk more, and sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. And my colleagues were talking about a guy that invested in a private equity fund which had in the portfolio a very famous company. I don't know if it was Snapchat or something like that, and that guy win a lot of money because of that, because that company went public and he made a lot of money. And then the manager of that private equity became very famous and everyone wanted to invest with him, but that private equity uh, didn't have the same performance as it had since then. But because when you have a private equity and is famous, it went well one time, you are gonna get famous and you are going to have investors trying to invest with you. But it's kind of game of luck.
Okay, I see. I
Actually,
see.
it's not all luck,
That's
but luck also plays a huge role. I would say, you know.
yeah, yeah. I think in everything in life, like you can like be more exposed to luck as you can be exposed to risk. My view on that, it's that you if you like expose yourself to a bigger surface of luck, maybe you're more likely to get lucky, right? So maybe if he wasn't investing at all,
Yes,
he wouldn't
exactly.
get lucky, right? But
For example,
it makes sense. It makes sense.
yes. For example, for us, you are going to college. I'm starting to work. For us, it's not worth it to invest. I would say in a conservative way because, I mean, if you lose $1,000, I mean, I'm not saying go ahead and invest $1,000, but if you have like $1,000 spare as a spare money, if you lose them, you don't know. No one cares. But if you lose 40 millions, it's kind of different. It's a lot of money. $1,000, it's and so I would say that when we are in our earlier stages of life, maybe we should risk a bit more. I'm not saying to do crazy things, uh, but I think it's wise to risk a bit more. Um, but at the same time, I think that in our early stage of life, what is more important is to gather some cash, and then when we have a good support, and then we have the capacity to support some incidents that may occur, then by then, okay, it's a good idea to invest. But before that, it's a bit difficult because a person doesn't have a lot of financial capacity, and so if you are investing with such a small amounts of money, and then you might need that money, it's not worth it. And so I would say that in our earlier stage of life, the most important thing is to earn money. And then when you have money and when you have spare money, then okay, invest it.
Right.
I
Yeah,
think
that's a interesting point of view. And so right
I'm just going
after
to.
after yeah, go.
Yeah, go ahead.
After this like after sharing this point of view, I'm curious to know if you're still investing or you decided, okay, I'm going to focus 100% of my time and energy, like professional wise, to like my career or something like that. Does that mean that you are not investing anymore?
No, I still have some holdings, but I decided to okay. I will just maybe try to focus more on earning money and on being free and independent, and then maybe it's wise to start investing because if you try to do both at the same time, it may not go very well. And also, the truth is, I don't have a lot of experience in investing, and it's very hard to win money by investing. And so maybe it's wise to just first gather some money, some good amount of money, and then when I have the knowledge, maybe I will start investing. Because truth to be said, if you have like $1,000 and you make like 10% per year, it's like you just make 100 euros. It's not a lot, and you're not going to make a lot of money with that. And maybe those 1,000 euros are important to you, and you really need them, and
Yeah,
it's kind of
that
not
makes
worth it,
sense.
you know.
That makes sense. I talk with Julio, which is who is a YouTuber, Spanish YouTuber, and he had a similar point of view. Basically, he's more he already picked some companies that he really loves and likes, but he's not adding any more money into those positions because now that he has a YouTube channel and it's going well, he's investing more in himself. Maybe, as you said, like those $1,000 invested into a camera, into a good computer, may earn like 2x, 3x, or more into investing into himself rather than getting, as you said, like 10%, 12%, whatever it is, on your returns. Like my point of view, I know that here my role is to interview, but I would also like to have like kind of a conversation and discussion, because I also think that getting different points of views and different approaches is beneficial to grow and to improve. And as you said, we know so little that we can't expect to be right all the time. Yeah, so basically my point of view is that since I still don't have to take care of the charges of the house and of the bills and all of those expenses, like having my money just loose and doing nothing is not as beneficial. And also I can't like focus on just earning money, because like even though I sell some sneakers and stuff like that, it's not big enough for me to invest all the money it generates. So basically what I'm trying to do also is like just learn from kind of paying for my education in a practical way, you know. Basically by investing I'm learning, and it's
Okay.
like a
I
circle, you
mean,
know.
there's not a scientific method, and what works for me might not work for you, and you would just have to do your own thing. I think that's the main advice I would tell you.
Yeah, that's interesting. And as you said, like different approaches work for different people, and it's amazing to see how someone can like use an approach that might be considered too risky or too conservative and still do
Make it
great.
fun.
And
Yeah.
yeah, make like at the end of the day what matters, it's it matters a lot how you like uh, achieve something, but you first have to achieve it for that to mean
Yeah,
something,
of
right?
course.
So like to finish first you have to finish. It's a saying that some people say. So yeah, it's interesting. But now that we've discussed like more of your current focus on rather than investing everything, focusing more on generating money, what's your like career development goals? What you would like to be doing in 5 years, 10 years? I don't know, like maybe within your firm, or what's your plan? Do you have any vision?
Uh, I don't know. I can't tell you what I'm going to do in 5 years, but what I can tell you is that today and nowadays I am doing what I like, and I think that's what's important.
Yeah,
And
that's
then I will
that's great.
just make my way, and yeah, and that's it.
Nice. So that's an interesting approach, and I don't know if everyone can say that they are working on what they like. So I kudos to you and
I
I
hear that a
congratulate you,
lot.
and I'm very happy that you, because like last time we talked, you also said, oh, I wasn't like very happy at my previous work, like it wasn't really my calling. So I'm happy for you that you
Yeah, thank
managed
you. Yeah,
to
it was
achieve
very
that.
cool. Actually. Yeah.
And like explain a little bit your process to, you told us it was on LinkedIn that you got this opportunity, but I know that you had some time where you weren't like working officially in any company. So was that dedicated to finding a new place?
Yes. Also, I and besides that, I also went swimming, and I started to do other things that I enjoyed, and I created this kind of a routine, which is important. And it was good for me to breathe after 6 months working in something that I didn't enjoy that much. it was good to have that time to think a little bit and to and to find somewhere where I would really like to work, and I did, and I am very grateful for that. And yeah, it's very good.
Nice, nice. And in this time that you had to reflect, maybe you reflected on some new failures, because last time we discussed some of your failures and mistakes, and I think those are, even though are the hardest ones to share, because we always want to win and we always want to share our achievements. Did you reflected upon any new failure that has changed your view on something? Like you last time, I remember you told me about some investment that you didn't had the money in the brokerage account and you
Oh
missed on a
yeah.
big opportunity. So do you have any new ones to share?
Well, I can't recall like one now, but what I can tell you is that I do mistakes every day, and it's normal. And what I do is, okay, this is not well done, so I will just manage to try to do it well, and that's it. And that's how we do in that company, and everyone. And actually, the environment, it's very cool. Everyone is ready to help. There is no competition. Everyone is there for you. You help others, they help you, and it's very cool. And if you do a mistake, okay, how do we do this? And then you learn how to do that, and that's just it. And that's what's amazing about that company.
Nice. And how big is it? Like how many people are
Like
in that?
in Portugal, we are just 18 persons working in the office,
Okay.
so it's a small company because I mean, this is not the service we provide. It's not for a lot of people. It's a
Yeah.
niche, um, and so we are not like um, a big four company or a quoted in stock market company, but I think what we do provides a very good service for people who is in need of those kinds of services. And I really think that we add value in what we do.
And are your incentives like aligned with your clients? How does that work in your situation? Because I know, like you mentioned, the private equity fund, maybe the managers and the owners are getting super rich, but the clients not really. Does that work in your situation? Because yours is more of a you're providing a service. Is it a fee or is it a
Okay.
one-time
I,
payment?
will- I
How
will
does that
tell
work?
you a secret. When you are investing, the people who make money, it's not the one who is investing. Are those who are providing services, are banks charging fees, are custodians, are companies like ours. Those are the ones making the money, are the private equity fund managers. Those who make money are the middle guys in everything. It's not the person who is investing.
So
Because there's no risk. You are just,
yeah,
of course, there is risk, but you are just providing a service. You are not putting your money out there per
yeah,
se.
makes sense. But so I assume since you provide the software, you charge like a fee, right? Like monthly or
Yes, we
something.
also, we also, of course, we also
Right.
provide, we also charge fees for the service we provide and for the usage of the software.
And if you were allowed to invest in your own company, would you do that?
Uh, like, what do you mean? Like,
Like
buy?
if you were offered some shares of your own company, like the company you're working on, would you buy them?
Yeah, I think I would.
So yeah,
Even though it's
because
not I have never thought about that actually. And even though they are not a public company, yeah, I think the business model it's very good. It's very cool. People are very talented. They know what they do. And I think I really would, because yeah.
That's interesting because like this is my favorite question because if someday a company turns public, I already have like some information. I did this internship at BA Glass. I don't know if you are familiar with the
No.
company. Basically, I love this business because no one knows about it, but they are the fifth biggest company of glass in the world. They like um, they have clients such as Coca-Cola, Heineken, Superboc. They make basically most of their bottles, and everyone in the company said, "Oh, if this company was public, I would buy shares, I would invest." And I really liked, and I think one of I really believe in one of the advices that Peter Lynch gave, that was invest in what you know, and sometimes you have really an asymmetric and advantage over other people because the things that you buy, the things that you work on, for example, in this case, your company, you have like insider information. It's something
Yes,
that
of
other
course.
people cannot understand. And yeah, that's an interesting like thought experience. So that's why I asked you. And but yeah, it's nice to know that you would invest in your own business. I also think that some people couldn't say the same thing about their own company. So good for you. Um, and now regarding also one topic that I really liked from our previous conversation was like more in the terms of mental health, spiritual health, and all those kind of things. Have you developed any new habits that help you in this like last couple of months, or when you did that break, you mentioned swimming. Is there anything else that you like doing for
I
in
think
regards to
I
that?
think it is all the same actually.
All
Uh,
the same?
yeah, I didn't change anything about that.
Nice. And
That's for sure.
you still like to ride your car?
Ah, of course. Yes.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I find that super interesting. People that like cars really like cars. It's not like
Yeah, they do.
something.
And I'm trying to find a garage here in Lisbon, and for me it really makes a difference to have the car or not, because I really like to drive and to have uh, that tool to make
Yeah.
whatever I want to do.
And your work is on site or is it
Well,
like
it's hybrid,
remote?
so we have remote and we have on site.
Right. And you have an office where you
Yes,
work? Okay.
it's like in Intercampus here in Lisbon. It's in a building where there are also a lot of other companies with us.
Okay.
So we just rented an office, and yeah, we are there.
That's really nice. Yeah. And was there any friction in adapting to this new job, like,
No,
or was
because
it all smooth?
yeah, it was all smooth because people, as I said, they are very receptible, and they are very warming and they welcome you since day one, and it's very cool.
That's interesting.
Um,
Like, do how was the interview process? Because finding those kind of people, I assume it's not very easy. So was it difficult, or like what were they looking for when interviewing?
well, so the interview process. We had three interviews. First one with the human resources. Second one where they would make you a technical interview. So you would have to know what some papers meant. What an option was, what an equity was. You really had to know what things were, because if you didn't, you wouldn't pass that interview. And then the last phase was with the boss, with my boss Consol, and was just for him to get to know you.
Right. That's good. And like, was there any specific skill besides the technical ones that they were looking for, like honesty? I don't know, like some soft skill.
Um, I think the main skill they are. I don't know if I should call it a skill, but they want when they hire someone. I think what they want is to hire like a friend, a call. They don't want you just to do your job. They want to have a good environment in the company, and so when they hire someone, they want to hire someone who fits the company, who fits the, and I think that's besides the technical aspect. I think that plays a huge role there.
Nice. And what do you think they spotted on you? Like, did they see someone that they could rely on and like
Yeah, I guess.
be friends with?
I don't know. I never asked actually, but yeah, I would say that. I don't know.
They just saw a nice guy and they say, okay, you can come. No, no, but it's interesting. And since like I don't want to make this too long, I would like to, if you agree, I would like to finish with a kind of interesting question, not too related with work,
Okay.
but since I was in the World Youth Journey or World Youth
Mhm.
Day recently, and you also mentioned you
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
that vibe and those kind of things. Could you share us a little bit more about like your personal faith and like how do you see like having a religion or devoting yourself, devoting some time of your day to really thinking about more of these like metaphysic kind of things, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, maybe I believe that there's something else. I would not say that. I don't go to the church. I did when I was a child with my parents. I don't go to church, but that doesn't mean I believe in God or something else, you know. But yeah, I think that's it. But I don't know. I think when you asked me that, I think the first thing that came to my mind was the lack of uh, people comprehending people that believe or whatever, in some other thing. And I think that nowadays there's not a lot of tolerance in the. Well, that bothers me a little bit, but that's it. And I respect everyone for what they believe in.
Right. But in your personal point of view, like, do you do you give any importance to like having a belief or faith in something, or you don't feel like there's really a point or a need for you to do that? Like, is it cool without like thinking too much about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that in my day to day, when I good actions do good actions, or when I do bad actions, I am thinking about it, I think it's like common sense when you go in your day and you the way you treat people in those kinds of things. You don't need to, you may not, or maybe religious, but when you go through your day, in every action you do, if you do the right thing, or if you do what maximizes the well-being, then I think you are already doing well in the lot. And
No,
I think
I really agree with you. I read like this book from Dale Carnegie, and he mentioned like his uncle or something was an atheist, so he didn't believe in God. But he always lived by the golden rule. So do upon others what you would like others to do to you. So like you may not believe or say you believe in my case, like I don't I'm reluctant to tell what I believe or not, because I think it can change so much over time that I think it's something personal. But I really think that if you try to be good to others, be honest, be humble, and improve upon the day of other people, you're already kind of being religious without knowing it, and
Yeah,
making the world a bit better, right? So I think that's the main point, and I agree with you in that. So that's interesting. And yeah, is there anything you would like to like ask our viewers or add to our chat?
No, I think we covered everything. If you guys have any question, you can ask in the chat or when you post the video, and I would be happy to answer them. And if you want to know more about what I do and whatever, you can also ask. And
Sounds amazing. I will put your maybe your LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to you, right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, I will put your LinkedIn on the description, and please bombard Antonio with questions about his new jobs. Since you're liking it so much, you have to answer. So I will put your LinkedIn, and I hope people get interested, especially here in Portugal. I think I'm kind of not doing a good job because I speak in my channel is in English, but someday I'll make some content in Portuguese, because I don't think we are that well served in terms of mentors or people to look up to in Portugal. So if there's any interested people in investing or um, finding just like-minded people, please contact Antonio and myself, and we'll 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 surely learn from each other, and that's amazing. So yeah,
I hope
man.
so.
Thank you so much for coming again to our channel, and it's a pleasure always to have you. You always help me a lot, like since day one. I think I just sent you a message randomly because of your
Group in
like you
Facebook.
created the yeah the Facebook community. So thank you again, and
Thank you for having me.
yeah, I very much appreciate it, and see you next time.
See you. Bye.